Welcome back, everybody. Today, I want to do something just a little bit different. I'm not going to use any Bible verses, per se. Just a Christian person talking about what is going on, basically, in our world today. You know, I don't know when it happened, but back when I was a kid, the self-righteous people always were church people. Church people that had no tolerance for anything else. Church people that elevated themselves thinking that they were better than somebody else. And yes, we still have that today to a degree, but it's not the same as it used to be. Because it used to be that all society felt less in front of these church people. Now it's the opposite. We have the secular religion, the virtual signaling religion, in which they are the Pharisees of today, and they don't see it. It's a shame because we can't see our own sin. That's what everything is about in the message of Jesus Christ. Now, as I get into this, if you like the video, please share it and like it, so that other people can hear this and hear the answer to the problem of virtual signaling. Because this is the problem. It is an unending need to lift oneself up and show they're better than somebody else. I'll put it to you this way, because I have the same nature. Back when Facebook first came out, probably around 2005, I had it for a while, and I would put things up on Facebook, and not many people commented, and I got rid of it. And the reason I got rid of it, really, when I think about it, was not that it was not a good vehicle to use. It was because I was insulted because nobody noticed me. And that's what this social media thing is today. Look at me. Look at me. Let me do something bigger. Look at me. Here's the problem with that. Fellow virtual signaler, like me sometimes when I was doing it. Every time you lift yourself up, it's only going to last for that 15 minutes of fame. And then it dissipates with the wind. It goes nowhere. What a heavy burden to never be accepted unless you're virtual signaling. Unless you're saying, I'm better than somebody else. Look at me. You know, all of these things with BLM and, when you see big businesses joining with things like that because of virtual signaling, you got to know there's something wrong with it. This is exactly what the big churches did. Put down others to elevate yourself. That is what you're doing. And here's the thing, if you're doing this, you know there's something missing. There's a problem. I'm going to tell you a story from a class I went to. Back 40 years ago or so, I was about to graduate from a community college. I needed a couple more credits, and I had a B plus average, and I says, 3.7 or something like that. I'll take sexism and humanities because I'm not that interested in it, but I want to find out, how bad things were for women, because that was in the course description. So I took the course. And boy, did I regret it. For, I don't know how many weeks it was. Say it was 20 weeks, 20 classes. I think it was twice a week. It was horrible. Because I would go in and there were 27 women and 3 men. And the men never spoke. And they would continually berate men about their bodies and abortion, about a whole bunch of different issues, about how men treat women, and how, and some of the remarks that came from them as you sat there and listened, because was like, this is the man I want. Every day he's got to bring me flowers. Every day he's got to do this. Or they got to do that. There are no good men. This is what we heard for probably whatever the period was, 17 classes out of the 20. And the men, we never even spoke to each other. We got out of there as quick as we could. And I used to hate going to that class. One of the men with 3 classes left asked, can I speak? And he never spoke before. And he says, I just need a few minutes to speak. And I wish I could do it justice. This man sat up and said, I just want to tell you, and he did it in a loving way. I found out later he was a Christian, and so was I. I just kept myself quiet. He said, every day I come into this class, I feel like I have a target on my chest. Yet, I've been praying for all of you because I'm told by God to love God above all things and love you as myself. And I try, but it's so difficult. And he gave such good examples, one after the other. He probably had made up a list. I just gave up. I think I wound up just getting a low B in the class because I was so depressed with all of the stuff that was going on. I hated the class. I just had to finish it. Well, you know what happened? His display of love opened up the gates. And we actually had discussions. They could see some of their faults. We could see some of ours. I actually enjoyed that class. And the next 2, I enjoyed also. And the last one ended quick because it was only a half a class. But the message is this. If you have God and the love of God and present that love in such a way like this man did, and I wish I could re-say what he said. I just don't know what he said. But he said it with love. You could see it. These women were asking for problems with themselves because of past relationships or anger with men, or maybe they didn't have a father. Whatever the reason, they blamed all men for the one. And here's the problem. They could never get a relationship with a man because even if there was only a few, and I agree, there was only a few good men, they couldn't get a relationship with a man because they were looking for him to work for them. To work. This is what this virtue signaling is all about. Let's work to see and show who we are. My friend, this is what God does for you. He says you no longer have to work. Come to me, you who are burdened, and I will carry it for you. Here's all you need to do. To love God above all things and love your neighbor as yourself. I'm not going to go any further. If you want to know the difference between a relationship and a workmanship, it's what I just displayed to you. I don't do things for my wife because I have to. I would never do that. She knows that from day one. I would never be forced into doing anything. I had a mother that did that to me. I'm not going to do that. I want a relationship based on love. And that is the binds that tie together. That's how after 44 years, I still can be with her and still love her and still care for her. Do I lose my temper sometimes? Yes. Do I make mistakes? Yes. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else. I'm saying this. If you get Jesus Christ and you have a relationship with God, all of your works are gone. You don't have to work. I remember one woman saying, I have a boyfriend and every day he brings me flowers. You know what I said? This guy is setting her up for what he wants, whatever it is. And once he gets it, it's gone. God doesn't do that. You might not have had a good father. You might not have had good relationships with men. But with Jesus Christ, he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So check out the recipe I have. and it'll tell you how you can know Jesus Christ for sure. So until next time, let Jesus increase as we decrease.